Hi everybody online. We know the videos aren't good. We're trying something new. Hopefully this works. When I have time, what my goal is, I've said this to everyone probably a million times, is to find a program that works better where you can actually see this on your screen and then you just hear me talking in the background and it's not a video like this. You probably just do it through Zoom too, but I'm trying to make it so that both you guys, it's a good experience for you in class and it's a good experience for whoever is watching online. Alrighty, so this is what we pieced together. Does anybody remember what our plan kind of was? I said I would write the intro, and our topic was how to be a good friend, and our audience was just our classmates or the general public, an adult audience. And then we had decided on 4 body paragraphs, and each of these would be one main point or one main thing about how to be a good friend. And, oh, bless you. And what did we start out with? Does anybody remember what the first paragraph was going to be about? Or we have some of the authors of that paragraph here. What was that paragraph supposed to be about? The first paragraph. The first body paragraph. Anybody remember? Or if you take a look at the writing? Characteristics. Characteristics! There are many characteristics that a good friend needs to have. Yeah. So we started with characteristics. And then, what was the next one? The next body paragraph. Communication, yeah. And then, support. Was that part of good communication? That was a supporting detail, right? What was the next paragraph about? Quality time, yeah. Quality time. And the last thing about how to be a good friend?
How to be a good friend.
Okay. What was our last?
Being supportive.
Being supportive? Okay, being supportive. Is that what we had? Whose paragraph was that? I don't even remember.
Like that being a good friend is being supportive?
Yeah.
That was mine.
Okay. So yours was being supportive. Why do I feel like we have being supported somewhere else? Oh, because maybe we're repeating some of our ideas, right? So I think that being supportive maybe came up in communication or characteristics as well. Anyway, being supportive. Let's put it there. Supportive, and then the conclusion. Okay. So what did you guys think of the introduction? Did you find anything in there that you would like to change? So we're both editing and revising, so we're changing any grammar mistakes, but also taking out anything we don't want or adding anything that we would want. So I'll just read it out loud, and then you guys can tell me, hi Sala, welcome. You guys can tell me if there's anything in there that you would like to change. All right. One of the most important parts of being a human being is knowing how to be a good friend. So we already have, now we're introducing kind of our main idea, right? A life without friends can lead to loneliness and isolation. Yet sometimes it is difficult for us to remember how to be a good friend to others. Being a good friend requires a certain set of personality characteristics and involves good communication. It also means spending quality time together and being a good support to one another. Anything anybody wants to change? Sala, do you have this page from the other day?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. You guys can say you want to change something. It's okay.
It's perfect because you wrote it.
See? That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. No, I'm just kidding. I tried to make it kind of straightforward. So a couple of things I wanted to point out to you. Here's a transition, okay? So I'm stating our main idea that it's important to be a good friend, yet sometimes it's difficult to remember, and then that leads us into, well then how can we do it, right? Does anybody know what this is called? This is kind of a long sentence, but it has a certain kind of punctuation in it. What do we call this kind of, it often comes at the end of an introduction. So if you're in stage 3, you might remember this from last year. So being a good friend requires a certain set of personality characteristics. So that's our first body paragraph. Good communication. Then I have a semicolon. What does that semicolon do? Who knows about the semicolon?
It means it keeps going. Like continues?
Yeah, so you'll notice here, I have a new subject and a new verbal phrase. But I can't just have a comma there, right? I need to either have a period or a semicolon or a long dash or something to show this is another whole new idea. I can't just separate it with a comma. But that idea is very connected to this idea. That's why I have the comma and the period, which is a semicolon, right? So where's my third idea? So I have a certain set of personality characteristics, good communication, quality time, that's number 3, and good support. So there I've told the reader, this is what you're going to read. This is your map. We already know then, what's the first paragraph going to be about? Personality characteristics. What's the second body paragraph going to be about? Good communication. The third one? Spending quality time. The fourth one? Good support, just like we planned it, right? That way, when the reader reads it, they're going to know exactly, they're going to know we made a plan. Whoever reads this is going to know these people planned this writing, all right? Now, the crazy thing is that each of us wrote one of those paragraphs, so no one knew what the other was writing. So we maybe repeated ourselves sometimes, or maybe whatever. We're just going to look at the first body paragraph, because I think it will take us a long time if we did it all, and we need to move on. But we're going to take a look at the first body paragraph. So what did you guys all catch in the first body paragraph for editing and revising that we might want to change or work with?
Finish his thought.
Okay, so let's just get that first body paragraph up there. And I'll just erase our other markings. And you know what? Like I always say, there's more than one way to slaughter a chicken. So there might be ways that you want to change it that work, and there might be ways that others want to change it that also work. There can be more than one way to do it, for sure. Okay, so Presley, what's the first thing you said?
Finish his thought, but finish their thought.
Okay, yeah, why did you, that's something I had on mine as well. Did anybody else have that? Wow, that's a bright light.
I found it too.
You had it as well, yeah. Why did you do that, Presley?
Because it says letting a person finish, so they're talking about more than one
Okay,
person.
okay. Anybody else want to say? I heard someone else say they changed it. Did someone else say they changed it? Thought I heard someone else say they changed it. Okay, yeah, so you're on the right track. The reason I changed it is because we don't know if it's his or her. You could be speaking about a friend who's a girl, or you could be speaking about a friend who's a guy. So if we say there, then the reader knows, oh, it could be a girl or a guy. Another thing that people sometimes do is to finish his dash or backslash her thought. But if you do that every time, you're writing his, her, she, he, it gets kind of difficult to read. So it's actually just a lot easier just saying there. Yeah. So for example, when somebody's pregnant and they don't know if they're having a boy or a girl, they sometimes say, oh, when they are born, right? That doesn't mean they're having twins. It just means they don't know if they're having a boy or girl, right? They don't want to say when he or she, he or she, he or she. Just say they, and then you just know it's either a boy or girl, okay? That's a good one. Yeah, well, anything else that people picked out here that we might need to change? Anything we can do to make it clearer to the reader?
I put a period behind answers, and then I said it is.
Ah.
And then I took out the comma and the plus, and I put and.
Okay, so she's talking about this area over here. Yeah, the author is starting a new thought here. So this is a period. This also is a connector, but it's missing the subject, right? It's missing it. So it has the verb, the sentence has the verb, but it doesn't have the subject. Also, it is important, right? Exactly.
I
Yeah.
put the it before the also. Does that work?
It,
I did that too.
you did that too? Okay.
It is
It also is important, like that.
It is also.
That's what I did.
Oh yeah, you can do that. It is also important. For sure. Yep. There's more than one way to slaughter a chicken. Okay, that totally works. It is also important. You could do that. What else? And you had some more things, Trudy, that you said there.
I put the comma and plus up away and then put and there. So it is also important to get ideas from others and trying to understand other people's opinions.
Yes, and is better than plus, right? Plus doesn't really, it's not appropriate in that situation. There's something I would do with the verb there, though. It is also important to get ideas from others and
Try.
yes. When we are talking about something that's just a truth, we use simple present, okay? It's not happening right now. It's a truth. You need to try to do this. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, right now. Does that make sense? Okay. Also, it is also important to get ideas from others and try to understand other people's opinion. Opinions. Yep. And why do I have a blue line there?
Should be people.
You need is it an apostrophe after E?
Yeah, because these opinions belong to the people. Right? Yeah. Did anybody do anything with the word people? Are we just talking about people here? This is what we want to make sure we're sticking with what we said we're talking about.
Friends.
We're talking about friends. Would it work for us to change wherever it says person and people to friend or friends?
Sure.
Let's take a look. Okay. There are many characteristics that a good friend needs to have. First of all, is that a good topic sentence?
Yeah.
Yeah, tells us. Now we're going to hear what those characteristics are. To be a good friend means, I want to work with this later, inclining your ears and letting a friend, because we said we're talking about friends, friend finish their thought before giving answers. It is also important to get ideas from
Others.
From friends. So we want to be, you guys are going to see me write this all the time when I'm going through your work. Be specific. If you've been in my class before, you'll often see, I'll just circle it and say, be specific. Who are others? Who are they? Who are people? Be specific, okay? It is also important to get ideas from friends and try to understand. Now, instead of saying other people's opinions, what can we say? Because we don't want to say friends too much. What can we do here?
There.
Yes. Thank you. Their opinions, right? Because now we know it's the friends because we've used it first and then the there comes later, right? Then, what do? I go back and I read it again. How does it sound now? This is the key to good editing and revising. Once you've made some changes, go back and read it again because you might make some other changes. There are many characteristics that a good friend needs to have. To be a good friend means inclining your ears and letting a friend finish their thought before giving answers. It is also important to get ideas from friends and try to understand their opinions. Really good. Why did I circle inclining your ears? Anybody? No thoughts? Someone take a risk. Tell me why you think I circled it.
I just know it sounds a little bit.
Sounds a little wordy, right? Sometimes I might say in your when I edit your work, too wordy, all right? What's just a simple way to say inclining your ears? Listen, yeah, and that doesn't mean this is bad. Sometimes we need to do this for a first draft. We need to just get all those words out, and then we need to make it simpler, right? Okay, so to be a good friend means?
Being a good listener.
Sure, means being a good listener. And letting a friend finish their thought before giving answers. It is also important to get ideas from friends and to understand their opinions. Excellent. Okay, so if we talk about listening here, I know listening comes up again in communication. So we might need to, later on, we might need to make sure we're not repeating ourselves too many times. All right? To make friendship stronger, it's important to be honest and helpful, also trying not to boring, creating good vibes. The most important characteristic is to be respectful. Okay, did anybody do any work with that part?
To make friendships.
To make a friendship stronger.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
One thing I want to point out to you guys, these are called what? When we take a word and we take part off the back and add an apostrophe. Close. So for example, did not becomes didn't. What do we call these kind of words? Close. Think of having a baby. You have a contraction. Okay? So this is the way to remember. I know hopefully this helps you guys remember. Okay, this is the mama. She's squeezing out the baby. This little O, boop, that's your baby. Now it's gone. And you put in the apostrophe. Okay, that's a contraction. All right, so you're taking part of the word out. Contractions are totally okay. We use them in speaking all the time. We use them in informal writing all the time. If you are writing something formal for university, for a test, maybe not a test. Test, they let it go by. But if you're writing something really formal, they say that you should not use contractions. So if we're saying that this is going to be for an assignment, then I would encourage you not to use contractions. It doesn't mean they're wrong if you do. It's just that if you want to make something more formal, then they say don't use the contractions. So what would we have here? It is, yes. To make a friendship stronger, it is important to be honest and helpful. Also trying not, so we need some help there, right? Because now we have some extra added ideas and we're, stopping thoughts.
Take out the also.
Okay.
I put as well as.
Yeah. Okay. So to make a friendship stronger, it is important to be honest and helpful as well as. Now we need help with this verb again. Try, right? Because we're talking about a constant, like a constant, so we use simple present. Sorry, Presley, go ahead.
Try not to be boring.
Yes, so
And
we're missing the be,
a
right?
period instead of a comma.
Okay.
And add and creating good vibes.
Okay, if we do that, if we put a period here and put and creating good vibes, this is a fragment. This is a fragment.
I
Because
put a dash.
you put a long dash? Okay. Where did you put your long dash, Trudy?
Behind boring.
Behind boring? Creating good vibes?
Also, we create.
Create good vibes. Okay, yeah. Now here's the thing too. Good vibes is what we call slang, okay? What's up, good vibes, hang out. These are all slang words, and slang words are okay in informal writing, but in formal writing, we try not to use them, all right? So what is this author trying to say? If you're creating good vibes, you're being positive? Oh, you guys like good vibes, don't you? You think good vibes is so much better? It is. But we're going to try and think of the formal way to say good vibes. Anybody? You don't like my being positive?
Yeah, that's good.
It's okay.
Have a good time.
What's that?
Have a good time.
Have a good time? Okay, let's see. To make a friendship stronger, it's important to be honest and helpful, as well as try not to be boring.
And be fun. Positive, whatever.
Could we just take out also try not to be boring and put something else?
We could. We totally could. Yeah. This is one where I would think about this for way too long as the clock is ticking. I'll let you guys figure out what you want to do with that, okay? This is the second draft. We could always fix it in the last draft. The most important characteristic is to be respectful. Okay, so they're concluding with that sentence. What's a transition word I could put in here to let the reader know, okay, now I'm kind of wrapping it up before going to the next paragraph.
I put above all.
Above all, I like that one. And I heard yours, I like yours too. Anna, what did you have? However, yeah, anybody have anything else?
As we see.
What's that?
As we see.
As we see, yeah, excellent. As we see, you know what, that one, person with the toque, that one I might not have, because as we see means then all of this was about being respectful. You know what I mean? And this was all different things. So I think above all, however, the most important Because if you say however, that means all of these are important, but this is the most important. Yeah, or above all. Any others? Okay, so we're not, this is hard work. The editing and revising is actually more like harder work than when you're actually doing the first draft, because that's when you're really like kind of weeding it. It's like the first draft, you're planting the garden and the plants have come up, and then the second, third, fourth draft, you're doing all the weeding. And you know that's much more of a pain in the butt. Thank you, behind. I was going to use the A word, but I didn't because I'm not using bad language on YouTube. Okay. So I'm going to leave the rest of it, and if you guys, or if you really like doing this, I know you all love it. you can edit it and hand it in, and I'll tell you what I think of your edits. If you want to work with this piece, go ahead. But this is all we're going to do. Okay? All right. Good job. These guys are probably tired.